Awesome. Welcome, Brutal Planet family. Listeners, this is James, and I'm here with Oscar of Hammerfall. Thank you for your time. I appreciate it.
Of course. Thank you for coming.
The founding member of Hammerfall. We were talking just briefly before, and this is your second time in Salt Lake City since...
Yeah, I think the first time we were here were in 1998. I know we were here then, and I don't think we've been here since. So this will be the first time in 21 years, which is quite a bit of time.
Yeah, that's excellent. You were here tonight with Sabaton, sold out show.
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty exciting. There's a lot of folks already outside waiting.
It's really cool. Just a couple of days ago, maybe a week ago, this was the only show for the rest of the tour that wasn't sold out. Mm-hmm. And now it is sold out. So, but this has been awesome. This tour, really, really good for us.
That's killer. Just briefly, we spoke about my first exposure to you guys was doing the review for Dominion. Mm-hmm. Pretty killer album. I was going back through and reading my review again, and I remember writing that song. In fact, Dominion was probably one of the dirtiest, gnarliest, nastiest riffs that I was just like banging my head to it. During the recording process, was there anything new or different during the approach?
Not for the recording. I think we did this. The last 3 albums we've done pretty much exactly in the same way. A few minor details changed, but we recorded everything in our own studio under the supervision of Fredrik Nordström, but Pontus was sort of the main man in the studio. Fredrik was not always. He was there for like setting sounds and stuff, but we did the recordings ourselves. And then we went to LA to work with James Michael for the vocals, because Joachim really likes to work with him, and they give a really good result from it, so it's definitely worth it. And then Fredrik, of course, mixed the album in the end. So that's exactly how we've done the last 3 albums, and it's really good. It feels like we've got a very good way of doing things that suits everybody really well. So hopefully we'll keep doing it the same way.
Excellent. Well, it came out extremely well, and I'm still going back through your previous catalog as well too. Just killer. From a guitar standpoint, on tour, what equipment are you using on stage?
So we both use Kemper amps, and the sound that we have in the amps are that's the actual recorded the album recording guitar sound that we have. So we made a profile of that before we set everything down and take everything down after the recording, and then we put that into the Kemper, and that's pretty much it. That's all I use. That and Sandberg guitars. So I'm set.
Awesome. So from the studio standpoint, was it a combination of amps, or was there one?
No, actually we try a little bit different. We have Marshall as bass. That's always the bass for everything. But for the last album, we put a Hughes & Kettner Triamp in there to mix it up a little bit. We also have two cabinets, so we can mix the sounds together a little bit and find the perfect mix of both of them. This time, I really wanted to use. I have a 1 watt Marshall JVM 1. It's called. It's from the Anniversary series that came out 5 years ago or whatever, a couple of years ago. Mm-hmm. They made one for every decade, and this was the newest one. And that's the one I've always used for all the demos I've done since I bought it. This is my favorite app of all time, I think.
Sure.
And I really wanted to have that on the album somehow, but it doesn't have the output obviously because it's a 1 watt. So we took that one and mixed it together with a JVM 410, the big one, the head, and that's the guitar sound I use. So originally Marshall. Pontus has two of the big ones also mixed together in the single and 2 different cabinets, like I said. So, but it's all Marshall through the Kemper app. So that's the best of 2 worlds, I guess.
No, it really is. The digital is it's so amazing. So many bands use it.
Yeah, just the fact that we can fly around the world with all our stuff. It's that small now. We have the in-ear stuff with us. We have the mixing console for the in-ear also with us in a rack. And we have the amps for the guitars, and that's all we need. Rent drums, of course. You can't really fly with a big drum kit. It's a bit too much, but that's all we need for that. Because Fredrik has his bass pedals that makes his sound. He doesn't need an amp. He just has the pedals and he line it out and it sounds. That's the beauty of modern technique because he can make it sound so good.
Cool. And I was checking out in an interview with you from about 4 months ago, and you talked about a different attitude with the band. Can you elaborate a little bit on that?
Yeah, if I think I know what you're talking about was the approach to the songwriting this time, because the songwriters in Hammerfall are Joachim and myself. We write almost all the music. Pontus is also involved a little bit, but that's usually towards the end with a song or two. And the last album, the previous album, Built to Last, was very stressful for me. I didn't realize that, because normally, all of the albums we've done before, we had 6 to 8 months of songwriting. That's all we do. We don't tour. We don't do anything in that period of time. Can just be home focused 100% on the songs and writing that. And nowadays you can't do that anymore. You don't have the luxury of it. You just have to be constantly on the road all the time. So, and that took me unawares a little bit. I wasn't prepared for that. So, for the last 2 months before Built to Last was supposed to start recording, I was really I didn't enjoy myself at all. I hated that time. It was so stressful. I couldn't savor the songs. Because I write music of course, for Hammerfall, but I write music to please myself first and foremost. Like the songs I write, these are the songs I love. I never put on a Hammerfall album and go, yeah, fuck, this is good. But I do. When I write songs, I have sort of listening parties for myself. Sometimes together with my girlfriend, just to see her reaction, but also to see my own reaction. When I have a bit of a space between the songwriting and the actual listening, that's when I know I'm in a good spot with the song. And I did not have that time at all last time. So this time for Dominion, I started writing really early, and I also started writing on tour, which is something I've never ever thought I could do. Ask me 2 years ago, I would say no way. Or 3 years ago, I would say no way. It can't happen because I need to be at home in my comfort zone, whatever. But because of all these things I mentioned, you have to keep on writing. I decided to give it a try. Basically, and it proved to be really, really good. I had no idea I could do that. I guess the adrenaline of being on stage is very creative, because once you come off stage, it takes a couple hours to go down again. So, and also when you're on tour, there's so much free time. You have time to think about the stuff. And I thought if I write songs while I'm just playing Hammerfall songs every night, it's going to sound exactly the same. It's not going to be any difference. But it worked the opposite way. It worked as a catalyst for me to get inspired and just try new things and stuff like that. So that has helped a lot. So I wrote probably because I did bring my stuff all the way on vacations and stuff with my family too, just because I wanted to try to write music when I felt like it, not when I could. There's a big difference there. At least in terms of, because I don't know how many times I've wasted it. Like, oh yeah, now I really feel like writing songs today. But this feeling will probably be here tomorrow. I'll go do it tomorrow. And then it's gone, of course.
Yeah.
So I decided to do that, and I probably wrote conservatively at least half of the album outside of my studio, which is that feels really good because it was all the time was really fun, and that's, like I said, it needs to be fun for me to do this. And it turned out really great too. That's I think part of it, at least part of the reason, the why it sounds the way it does, is because I try to do things a little bit differently. Joachim did as well when he writes the vocals, lyrics and stuff like that, just to find a new angle, so to speak. We've been doing this for 22 years now. We just need to keep it fresh a little bit.
That's excellent. No, thanks for sharing that. Professionally speaking, over your entire career, what are you the most proud of?
I think part of at least one thing I'm really proud of is that we Hammerfall has always been totally 100% non-compromising for any reason. Like, we did exactly what we wanted to at all times. Not always the best result from it, but we always stuck to our guns and never like listen to the label like, yeah, this ballad was good, let's do another one, like bullshit like that. We always said from day one, don't interfere with the music. You don't know anything about that. That's our job. Your job is to sell the albums. And they finally quite quickly realized that, okay, these guys are doing pretty well. We don't need to, get involved in that stuff. And I think the non-compromising attitude is something I'm the most proud of, because if we didn't have that from the beginning, we would never be here today. Because if I don't know if you lived through the 90s, and the melodic metal in the 90s was nowhere to be seen. It was like ridiculed, and just that's when we started playing and then started having fun. And I think that's the thing I'm most proud of, that we stuck to our guns and played the music that we loved, that we wanted to play, and not something that anybody else wanted us to play.
That's admirable, and that's appreciative of fans, even for me as a new fan, but for any fans.
I think they can, if people are honest on stage or when they're playing and they write the music that they really feel this is the stuff, and not just go through the motions. I think people can sense the honesty somehow, at least especially on stage, but also through the recordings. We sort of, as the path that we followed, it's pretty. I usually compare it to a ladder, or stairs, whatever. That next album is another stair on the, but it's all the same, going in the same direction, so to speak. And that I think people can tell that this is what we really want to do.
Killer. On the opposite side, personally, what are you the most proud of yourself in life?
Difficult question. You mean something I've done, or just anything?
Anything from your personal life, outside of music that you're most proud of?
Yeah, the thing I'm the most proud of is the fact that I waited just till I was ready to have kids. I didn't do it when I was 20 or 25. I'm so glad I didn't, because I was nowhere near mature enough to have a kid. Because that would have ended in divorce or whatever, separate ways. And that's I had that growing up. My parents got divorced when I was about 3 or 4, and we saw him, my father, but my mom raised us, basically three boys, and we saw him maybe 3-4 times every year or so, and that I didn't suffer really. I didn't think, I hate this, whatever, but I also realized that, like, when I grew up and when I got older, I realized that my bigger brother, he's 7 years older than me, he became sort of a father figure for me a little bit. I patterned myself after him the way I probably would have if I had a present dad that was there all the time. And I always said, well, of course I wasn't ready to have kids, but also I hadn't found the right person to have it with, and also I didn't want to have to risk it by doing it too early and too soon, and then having to be my own father, gone most of the time. So I waited until I was really ready, and my girlfriend was also ready for it, and then we did it. And I'm really proud of that, because I don't want to. I feel like I wanted to give my son the upbringing that he should have. That every kid should have a mother and father to rely on, and that's what I wanted to.
That's killer. No, thanks for sharing that. Certainly you're on tour with Sabaton. Things are going well. And looking back maybe on the history of who you've toured with, I guess, is there one band that really sticks out from your tour with them, either from professional speaking or just personality-wise, it just really sticks out to you?
I think one of the absolute best tours that we ever did throughout the whole career is the tour that we did with Death together in '98. It was over here in the US, because I grew up listening to Death. Chuck's playing style, and most of all singing, and songwriting style too, for that matter. But his voice because I used to play in a death metal band as well, and I was. That was like the top of the mountain for me. That was I was a big fan of his, and then to be able to tour with him, we shared a bus for 5.5 weeks, and got to know him and the other guys in the band, and we had so much fun on that tour, and that really stands out for that, and also because this happened to be Chuck's last thing that he did, because he got diagnosed a couple of weeks later, I think, and from then it went really fast downhill. So one of my favorites, I'm a record collector, so I have a lot of vinyls. I've never gotten rid of any. I have the stuff I have from that I built my collection from then, and also buy new stuff now. and the last day on that tour, and it's probably in the we were flying home. We had a day after the tour before we flew home, and we ended in Orlando, I think it was, or maybe in Florida anyway, where Chuck was living. So he invited us to a barbecue the last night, and then he said, showed us his garage. He had a bunch of symbolic albums. The Death album, Symbolic, and that's the only one I didn't have on vinyl. So he said, you can have one, of course. And he signed it to me, which was something that doesn't make a lot of sense. This was his saying to Oscar from Hammerfall, let the metal flow. That was his favorite thing. And then there was something about waffle heads, because we had we ate at Waffle Houses a lot. We sort of started the last day on the tour.
Hi.
Sorry.
So whose room is this?
This is Hammerfall, I think. Anyway.
We have catering at
I got most of your stuff
right here.
already.
So they're taking care of us. We're just wrapping up an interview. So.
All right, yeah. So, but anyway, we played
Keep bringing water.
thank you, a weird set together, just as a last song. And the audience in Atlanta didn't understand what the hell was going on. But we had fun. It was more for our benefit than anybody else's, and it was a really great ending to a great tour. And it was a really good memory to have from.
Oh man, that's awesome. I mean, Chuck definitely influenced so many people in death. Just what a groundbreaking band. So.
Ridiculous how early he was with everything, and the concept was so clear from the beginning.
Yeah. Well, I could ask you a million questions more. It's about that time to wrap up for us and let you get on stage and finish your sound check. But I look forward to it. Thanks again for your time. Any final words?
Thank you. This tour has been absolutely amazing that we've been on. Sabaton has treated us really, really well, and the fans have been exceptional. I mean, we always have great fans over here, but this is so many more people than we normally have. And people, I can tell when you go on stage, and people are like a little bit interested, but they're not into it because they don't know who we are. And they start saying, okay, so the heads start popping and everything. And after a while, people start getting into it. At the end of the show, they're yelling our name, which is fantastic. And that's we brought them into our thing, and they were open-minded for that. And that's why we wanted to do this tour with Sabaton. So I thank everybody who's come to this tour, because it's been a true pleasure every night. And we are coming back next year for a headline tour in September and October.
I'm looking forward to it. Thanks again, Oscar. This is James with Brutal Family, out.